You sent the message. They opened it. And then, nothing. And suddenly, at 2 a.m., you're lying in bed wide awake, replaying every word you typed, convinced you said something wrong, wondering if they're pulling away, maybe even questioning the whole relationship. All because of 2 tiny letters. S-N. Here's what nobody tells you. That spiral isn't weakness. It's your brain running a program it was never meant to run in the digital age. And once you understand how it actually works, you'll never lose sleep over a read receipt again. Okay, real talk. How many times have you caught yourself staring at that seen notification? Chest tight, mind racing, trying to figure out what you did wrong? If you've ever felt a physical reaction, actual anxiety, a pit in your stomach, that restless, can't put the phone down energy, just because someone didn't text back, I need you to know something important. You are not overreacting. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. It's just doing it in a world it was never designed for. Drop a comment below and tell me, does this happen to you more at night? Because I have a feeling the answer is yes, and there's a very specific reason for that. Here's where it gets fascinating. Your brain has a built-in social monitoring system. Researchers call it the social pain network, and it runs 24/7 in the background, constantly scanning your environment for signs of acceptance or exclusion. This system evolved tens of thousands of years ago, back when being rejected from your tribe wasn't just emotionally painful, it was genuinely life-threatening. If your group turned their back on you, you were alone in the wild. No food, no shelter, no protection. So your brain learned to treat social rejection as a survival emergency. And here's the wild part. Neuroscience studies, including landmark research by Dr. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA, have shown that social rejection activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. That ache you feel when you're left on red? Your brain processes it the same way it would process stubbing your toe. It's not just emotions. It's biology. And now layer on top of that the fact that this all tends to hit hardest at night. During the day, you've got distractions, work, noise, tasks, people. But the moment your head hits the pillow and the room goes quiet, your brain finally has the bandwidth to fixate. The social pain network goes into overdrive. That scene from 6 hours ago suddenly feels fresh, urgent, personal. Your mind starts filling in the silence with the worst possible explanations, because that's what a threat detection system does. It doesn't wait for evidence. It assumes danger first and asks questions later. And that instinct, as ancient and automatic as it is, was never meant to be triggered by a text message at 11 p.m. Think about what it was like before read receipts existed. You'd send a message, and if you didn't hear back, you had a built-in escape hatch for your brain. They probably haven't seen it yet. That little uncertainty, as uncomfortable as it sounds, was actually doing something really important for your mental health. It was keeping the door open. It was giving your brain a neutral explanation, a reason to stand down, a way to avoid jumping straight into panic mode. Uncertainty, in that case, was a shield. And then someone at a tech company decided to add a little seen notification. And just like that, they accidentally removed one of the most powerful emotional buffers we had. Because here's what changes the moment that seen appears. Your brain loses its exit ramp. The neutral explanation is gone. Now it's not, maybe they didn't see it. It's, they saw it, they read it, and they chose not to respond. And that shift, as small as it sounds, is enormous from a psychological standpoint. Researchers call this ambiguity reduction. And while reducing ambiguity usually feels like a good thing, in social situations it can actually make anxiety worse, not better, because your brain now has a confirmed data point with no context to explain it. It's like hearing a loud noise in the dark. Not knowing what it is keeps you alert, but telling you something is definitely there without telling you what it is. That's when the real panic sets in. Read receipts do exactly that. They confirm presence without providing meaning. And your brain, desperate for meaning, will manufacture one on its own. And trust me, the story it tells itself is almost never, they're just busy. There's a reason for that, and it goes even deeper than you might expect. There's a rhythm to human conversation that's so deeply wired into us, we don't even notice it until it breaks. Message sent, message received, reply comes back, connection continues. That back and forth isn't just a communication habit. According to science, it's a fundamental social loop that your brain actively expects and depends on. Studies show that humans are neurologically tuned to reciprocal social exchange, meaning your brain doesn't just enjoy getting a response, it anticipates one. It starts preparing for it the moment you hit send. So when that loop gets interrupted, when the message lands, the scene appears, and then silence, your brain doesn't just feel disappointed. It registers something closer to an error signal, like a hand reaching out for a handshake that never comes. And that feeling, that strange, unresolved tension of a conversation that just stopped, has a name in psychology. Researchers call it open-loop tension, and it's the same mechanism that makes you need to finish a song that got interrupted halfway through, or find out how a story ends even when you're exhausted. Your brain cannot comfortably sit with incompleteness. It wants closure. It needs the loop closed. And when a scene with no reply leaves that loop hanging open, your mind will stay on it. Sometimes for hours, sometimes all night. Not because you're weak or too attached, but because you are literally built this way. The absence of a response isn't neutral to your nervous system. It's unfinished business. And an unfinished social interaction at 11 p.m. in the dark with nothing else to focus on. That's not just uncomfortable. That's a recipe for a full sleepless night. But here's the thing. Once you understand why this happens so precisely, you gain something most people never get. The ability to interrupt the spiral before it even starts. And that changes everything. There's a rhythm to human conversation that's so deeply wired into us, we don't even notice it until it breaks. Message sent, message received, reply comes back, connection continues. That back and forth isn't just a communication habit. According to science, it's a fundamental social loop that your brain actively expects and depends on. Studies show that humans are neurologically tuned to reciprocal social exchange, meaning your brain doesn't just enjoy getting a response, it anticipates one. It starts preparing for it the moment you hit send. So when that loop gets interrupted, when the message lands, the scene appears, and then silence, your brain doesn't just feel disappointed. It registers something closer to an error signal, like a hand reaching out for a handshake that never comes. And that feeling, that strange, unresolved tension of a conversation that just stopped, is something science has studied closely. And what researchers have found is striking. Your brain cannot comfortably sit with incompleteness. It wants closure. It needs the loop closed. And when a scene with no reply leaves that loop hanging open, your mind will stay on it, sometimes for hours, sometimes all night. Not because you're weak or too attached, but because you are literally built this way. Studies on social cognition show that an unresolved social interaction activates the same alertness response as an unresolved physical threat. The absence of a response isn't neutral to your nervous system. It's unfinished business. And unfinished business at 11 p.m., in the dark, with nothing else to focus on? That's not just uncomfortable. That's a recipe for a full sleepless night. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Once you understand why this loop gets stuck, you gain something most people never have, the ability to close it yourself, on your own terms, without waiting for anyone else's reply. And that changes everything. So here's where we land. Your brain isn't broken. You're not too sensitive. You're not crazy for losing sleep over a read receipt. You are a human being running ancient, powerful software in a world that moves faster than evolution ever anticipated. The silence hits hard, because your brain was built to take it seriously. The spiral kicks in because your mind was designed to protect you. And the personalization, the open loops, the 2 a.m. overthinking, all of it makes perfect sense once you understand the wiring behind it. And now, you do. But understanding is only step one. The real question, the one I want you to sit with tonight instead of staring at your phone, is this. How much of your peace are you willing to hand over to a notification? Because every time you let a scene with no reply send you into a spiral, you're giving away something way more valuable than a text conversation. You're giving away your sleep, your energy, your sense of self-worth, and you deserve better than that. So starting tonight, I want you to try something small. The next time it happens, and it will happen, I want you to catch the moment your brain starts building the story. Notice it, name it, and remind yourself, silence is not a sentence. It's just silence. Now I want to hear from you, and I mean this. Drop it in the comments right now. What's the thought that hits you hardest when you're left on read? Is it, did I say something wrong? Is it, are they losing interest? Or is it something else entirely? Be honest. This is the kind of conversation we don't have enough of, and I genuinely want to know. And if this video helped you see your own brain a little more clearly tonight, do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Not just to support the channel, but because we drop new videos every week on exactly this stuff. The anxiety, the overthinking, the sleepless nights. And every single one is designed to give you one less reason to lie awake staring at the ceiling. Your better nights start here. I'll see you in the next one.